against this operation. Well, what is this operation? It's as according to my source, it could be one of perhaps three areas. One could be an operation, something that will elicit sympathy and empathy for the president himself, and will depict the white guys with guns, with Bibles, conservative, pro-life, pro-constitution, as the aggressors. That's what we're looking at as perhaps the most likely scenario.
And I'll tell you what's shocking about this. We're going to break. Come back. We'll get into full detail with our guest and what his source is saying the intel is allegedly. And again, we're reporting this because we've seen from behind the scenes saying the white Al-Qaeda, the evil white guys are going to attack and they're the new enemy, to now the full rollout in TV, in fiction, in nonfiction, and news. They're setting it up.
Okay, it is Friday morning, and the end of the world was supposed to happen 7 or 8 hours ago, so I'm still here. And it looks like the electricity works, and the earth is not coming to a standstill. So once again, how are you New Agers going to explain this one? Okay. I've been agitating with myself to get down in front of this orb again and make this video since last Friday. Okay, remember my Welcome to Phase 2 video? It was like 2 videos back, I think. I boiled down the most information-packed sound bites, which you just saw one of those sound bites right now, because that one really pertains to everything else that's going on currently. That was from that August 29th Alex Jones broadcast. And the entire broadcast was all about sounding the alarm for an impending false flag operation, which apparently was going to coincide with the elections and the idea of an October surprise. Okay? I believe the shooting on Friday in Connecticut constitutes that false flag. Actually, the Batman incident was probably the first in this engineered chain of events, when its senseless brutality, but not enough children dead, failed to arouse the boob on the street. More blood was called for. This is probably the first 2 in a string of related operations which will start going off like daisy-chained shrapnel rounds, and all scripted to serve the desired outcome, that being the great American gun grab. The operation which Obama green-lighted back in the late summer, and which is now going into execution, is this narrative we see unfolding now, the demonization of the American gun owner. This is the final barrier to the New World Order that must be removed, okay? The useless eaters cannot be allowed to competently defend themselves, alright? Back in that video too, I declared that we've now entered phase 2 of the resistance, which is, the guerrilla war phase. So I did call it, and it looks like that's exactly where we're about to go. It should be clear to even the most deluded New Age orifluffer now that there is not going to be a peaceful resolution to be found anywhere while dealing with these human crocs. Now, would you assume a peaceful resolution was possible with a 20-foot-long reptile that has decided that you look more like dinner than a threat? There are only 2 outcomes I can see for the above scenario. You either kill the fucker or you get eaten. Well, the New Agers would say you could run away. But did you know that crocs can balls-ass sprint on land to the tune of about 20 miles per hour? So I guess in that scenario you would have to have a pretty good head start. Likewise, I can only see there being two likely outcomes for our present situation. Either we kill them, or they kill us. The true rulers of the New World Order won't be bargained with, they won't be cajoled, they won't be flummoxed, bamboozled, or in any way intimidated into backing down on this one. They are 110% committed to spilling all of our blood. David Icke is right in a very real and metaphorical way, in my opinion. These fiends are reptiles. They're neurologically operating from a reptilian brain space. In the human brain, this is the oldest part of the brain, and it is referred to as the reptilian brain, or the R complex. The higher, more evolved and furry, if you will, portions of the brain, the human portions, are all in service to this reptile at the wheel at the bus. The functions of intelligence and reason are merely tools with which to use to trap prey and feed the beast its buckets of blood. These people really are a separate branch on the humanity tree. To view them like the rest of us is to make a fatal mistake. These fuckers don't feel compassion or mercy at all. In fact, the more monstrous your suffering is, the more turned on these fuckers get. It's like blood in the water to them. It gets their dicks hard. 1 billion people burning in atomic fires makes these people want to fuck. It sexually arouses them. But you know, I am in perfect agreement with the New World Order that there definitely needs to be a culling of humanity. It's the question of whom needs to be culled that we differ on. I say these parasites' free rides on the backs of humanity for the last 10,000 years needs to come to a screaming, bloody fucking halt right now. Right here. It will not be sufficient to merely throw them off our backs. We must throw them off, then pin them down in the dirt, and cut their fucking hearts out. Every last one of them. Men, women, children. Little crocodiles grow up to be monsters. So spare me your platitudes. Your own Old Testament stresses the importance of engaging in complete genocide when it comes to predatory gene pools. We will never be free of these psychopathic regressives until none of them exist anymore. And you know, this could really be the first example of a truly just and holy war. These psychopathic control freaks, to the lions! Every last one of these murdering freaks. Yet, to feed these scum to lions is too noble. Better to open their abdomens with blades and allow the intestines to cascade forth than throw them screaming head over heels into the pens at the local pig farm. That is what this scum deserves. To be eaten alive by swarming swine. That's pure poetry. Of course, every pig in there would have to be killed and burned to ashes in an incinerator after the last New World Order psycho was completely consumed, digested, and shit out into the mud. These pigs aren't fit for human or coyote consumption after a meal like that. Would you want bacon from that pig farm? I guess I'm something of a consumer conscious advocate after all.